Hi everyone, welcome to Geeks for Geeks practice. Can I have a yes in the chat if I am audible to you all? We'll just wait for other people to join in the stream. So the problem for today is max rectangle, right? So the problem of the day was max rectangle, and you have the problem says that you have been given a binary matrix M of size n cross m, right? Find the largest area of a rectangle formed only by ones in the given rectangle. So this is the problem statement. I'll wait for some more people to join in. If the stream is audible to you, then please like the video so that I can know that that it is visible and audible to you in a clear manner. Right? Yes, you are audible and the screen is visible. Right. So Aditya, uh, thanks for telling us. So what does the problem say? So the problem says that you have been given a matrix. First of all, see that let me delete it. Let me just remove this first. So the problem says that you have been given a binary matrix of n cross m. So you have been given a binary matrix, and the binary matrix is n cross m, right? N cross m, and in this binary matrix what you have to do is you have to find the maximum area that is formed from only using ones, right? Is the problem statement clear to everyone? So what we will do is we will just let me just write the test cases. The first test case, so what it says is 0 1 1 0, and then it says then it says 1 1 1 1 1, like you have 4 times 1, and then you have 4 times 1 again, and then what you have is 1 1 0 0, right? So this is my given test case. So uh, is the test case clear to you all? You can write yes in the chat so that I can know that if the test case is clear. So what will happen is you have to find the maximum. You have to find the maximum. The problem states that you have to find the maximum area of the rectangle formed only of ones in the given matrix, right? So can you tell me like how I'll approach it? Can anyone in the comment section mention how we will be approaching this question? Like anyone has any idea like how we can approach the problem? Like Aditya, you can give the answer, or anyone else if you have solved this problem, or if you have an intuition coming in mind, then can anyone tell me like how we'll be solving it? Okay, fine. So I'll tell you. So let's suppose that you pick this in these two ones, and you say that this is a rectangle and the area for this is 2, right? 2 cross 1 is 2. And let's say that you choose this matrix, this rectangular matrix of 1, all the 1 indexes, all the 1 characters there, and so the area for this will be 4. And let's suppose that you choose this matrix, then the area will be 4 again. And one more thing, like what you can do is instead of selecting these cases, like what you could have done is, okay, so what you could have done is you could have chosen this rectangle as well. So the value or the area of this rectangle is 6. So far we have seen that we can find 2 4 6, all these types of areas. So can anyone tell me like what will be the maximum area formed from by using ones in this matrix? Can anyone tell me? in the chat, max area is line 2 and 3, right? So one person has given the right answer. So the maximum area that we can form for this particular test case is this one. So you can see that if you take and this row and these four columns, then what happens is your area comes out to be 8, which is maximum, and there is no other area that is possible. So you had area with 2, you had area with 4, you had area coming out to be 6, then you had then you also have area coming out to be 8. So this is the answer for this test case. So can somebody tell me like how we will be approaching this problem? How can we approach such a problem? And for giving the hint, it is said that you can use n cross m, and the auxiliary space expected from you is order of m. So can anyone tell me in the comment section like how we will be approaching this problem? I am continuously reading your comments. So if anyone could tell me like how we will approach this in the comment section. Based on max area histogram problem, right? So there is a prerequisite, like there was a problem that is named as max area histogram. So if you know that problems, then this question becomes easier for you. But again, even if you don't know that problem, then even if you don't know, then we will try and we will build up the solution for this. So let's say that we had a test case, like the test case could have been like 0, then 1, then 1, and then again you had 1, 1 and 1, and then you had 0, 1 and 1. So what will be the maximum answer for this? Like if you had chosen these two indexes, these two, then you would have got an area of 2. So you can see that you could have got an area of 2. You could also get an area of 3. You can also get an area of 4, like if you choose this and this index. But can you get a area better than that? Yes, you can get an area better than that. The maximum area that you can get is 6, right? So this is the maximum area. Maximum area for this test case is coming out to be 6. So like, can anyone in the comment section tell me like how can we build such an approach to this problem? Like Anmol Raj, would you like to tell me like how we can approach this problem? Like you have told us a way, but can you please elaborate on the solution? Anmol Raj, if you can elaborate, then it will be great, because I want to keep this live stream as engaged as possible so that the answer comes out from the audience. Like, would you like to answer it? Okay, so I'll answer it. So what happens is, basically what you have to do is, like what's the approach? So the approach is a dynamic programming approach, and it is based on histogram, maximum area histogram, that was stated earlier by a student. So what we can do is, first of all, the approach that we will be following is using the approach that we will follow is using the largest area histogram, right? So this is the problem that you should know. If you know this problem, then the problem becomes easier for you, right? And if you know this problem, then as stated, it becomes easier. But let's try and see. So if the height of the bars in the histogram is given, then largest area of the histogram can be found, right? So if the height of the areas of the histogram is given, then the largest area can be found, right? So if suppose that this was like this, then what would be largest area? I'm just making this test case to make the problem more intuitive to you. So this will be my largest area, like for the histogram, this particular region, or in let's assume that this particular region will be our as I had made that earlier. So as you can see that what will be the maximum area, since I have not used the indexing, so I am not making that test case once again. So what you can do is, you simply check you simply use the maximum area histogram, and for that consider each ones as filled squares and zeros as empty square and consider each row at the base, right? So for each row, like if you have this row, uh, like what can happen is basically as it was stated in the case earlier, like what was the test case, I'll show you once. So the test case that was shown to you earlier was um, right, so yeah, so this was the test case. So what happened for this test case? For this test case you can see that there was no base with ones, so you can see that the building could look something like this. If you consider this as a histogram, again don't take it seriously, I am just making it for showing you guys. So what happened was, if you can see this part, this much part, so what happened with this much part was, this was the part, and again you have this here. So you can see for this part you did not have a base, but what I can say is, let's consider this row first. First of all, consider this row, and for this row you try to find the maximum area of the histogram. Then what you can do is, you consider this row and you try to find the area for this histogram. So I'll quickly clean up the board so that I can write more. Right. So what you can do is, you can simply, for the first part, you will, what you will be seeing is, you will, the matrix will look something like this, or the histogram maximum, you can find the maximum area histogram for this part. Then next up, if you consider the second row as well, then what will happen is, it would look something like this. So you can see that your histogram, now you have to find the maximum area histogram for this part, right? So you can also find the maximum area histogram for this much, and let's say that you are considering third row as well. So what you will be doing is, you will simply make this 1 and 2, and then you will have a index 3 layer, then you will again have a 3 layer, then you have a 2 layer. So you can again find the maximum area histogram for this problem. But for the final part, what will happen is, since the 0 is not there, since this is 0, so you will not make any histogram for this part, but you can consider the histogram for this part. So this was the visual part of the problem. So is this much part clear to each and every one of you? Use a stack, right? Anmol is saying that use a stack and find minimum index of right and minimum index to the left, that will be with right, and minimum index to the left, right. So what Anmol is trying to say is, should I move to the coding part to make it more intuitive? Like, would you guys want me to explain the coding part so that it can be more intuitive? Because I guess that you can understand it through the diagram. So let me try and come up for the code with the code. So what happens is, in this problem you can use a stack, and you can see what is happening is, like first of all, what will happen is, you can simply do, right. So what you can do is, you can simply run a loop for through the each rows, right. So where is the loop? So you can run right. So yeah, so you can run a loop for each of the rows, correct? And then if the current row is not the first row, then you can update it as I told you. Like I'll move back to this part. So in this part you can see that all these rows are already all these rows are present, so you can update these rows. But for this row, what will happen is, for these two indexes you will not be able to update it because the base is 0, right? So this is what I am trying to explain. So this is what I am trying to say, that if your current index is 1, then you simply update it, right? You increment the number from the previous one, right? This is a basic approach. So what you do is, you do a of ij is plus equal to a of I minus 1 j, right? And then nextly, if the current row, if for a current row, uh, first index are like, if mat is not 0, then you can simply do this part as we have seen. So you can easily do this much, like a of ij plus is a of ij equal to a of ij plus a of I minus 1 j, right? And what you need to do is you need to find the area under the histogram, right? So for each time, what you will be doing is you will try and find the maximum area of the histogram. For that part, considering the ith row, you will consider, what you will do is you will, each time you will come, you will consider, what you can do is you will consider the ith row, you will consider the ith row, yeah, you will consider the ith row for the, yeah, you will consider the ith row as height of bar of histogram, right? And then what you can do is you can calculate the largest area histogram for it. You can calculate the largest area histogram for that part, and in this way what you will do is you can perform the step again, and each time what you will be doing is you will be calculating if that histogram is possible, like if the current row is not 0, then what you will be doing is you will be trying to calculate the maximum area histogram. You will try to calculate the maximum area histogram each time, and once you will calculate maximum area histogram each time, you will repeatedly do this process, and then in that case what will happen is in the end you will be able to find the maximum area that can be made using the maximum area that can be formed using ones in a given binary matrix. So is this much part clear to you all? Like Anmol, if you have any questions or anyone else has any questions. Right. So I'll show you the coding part to explain the code more in a more proficient manner. So what I will be doing is basically what you do is initially you have to calculate you calculate the result for the maximum area histogram for a of 0 or mat of 0, you can calculate accordingly. So what you do is you calculate area for first row and initialize it to the result. So initially for the result you need to have a basic initialization. So what you will do is for that you will calculate the maximum area histogram for the first row, right? And then what you will do is you will iterate for each row to find the maximum area rectangle for each row, considering that each row is a histogram itself, right? So you consider that each row can be a histogram, and then if that particular row is 1, then that means that the histogram can be built, and a of ij plus equal to a of I minus 1 j, right? And then in the result you will store maximum of result comma histogram of ij. So each time you will be storing the histogram maximum area histogram for the each row or for the ith row, right? So how we will be proceeding through this is what you will be doing is you will be declaring a stack, you will be declaring the max area as 0, and you will also be declaring area as 0, right? So what area will indicate is that initial area with the current top, so it will be indicating the initial area with the current top, and what you will do is you will run through all the bars of the histogram, and if the bar is higher than the bar of the current stack, so you will push it in the stack, and if the bar is lower than the current stack, then you will calculate area of rectangle with stack. So you will calculate in the else part, what you will do is you will calculate the area of rectangle for minimum bar, and if the ith is right for the top, if like Anmol was saying, so if the I is right index for the top and the element before top is to the stack is left index, then what you will do is you will simply do top value is equal to row of result dot top, and you will simply pop out the result, and you will multiply the area with your current top value and the ith row, right? And if the your result if your result that you are building, if your result stack is not empty, then what you will do is you will simply store the area, that is top is equal to top minus value into I minus result of top minus 1. So this is a standard procedure through which you will be calculating the area for each time, and then you will be comparing the maximum area, and if still the result is not empty, then my top value will be equivalent to row of result dot top, and then again I'll be I'll be popping out the current top of the stack, and I will multiply the area with the top value for the ith row. And still if my index is not empty, then what I will say is my area will be a the top value that I am currently having into I minus result dot top minus 1. So this will be my height, right? This will be my width. This will be my width, and again I will be storing the max area using max is equal to max area is equal to max of area comma max area, and then I will be returning the result. So this is the code. So this was the code part. And do you guys have any doubt up till now? Right. So yes, Anmol is saying right. So what he is saying that he just came to check if this problem can be done in any other approach. So Anmol, what I would like to tell you is, for this problem, what you can do is this approach is a standard approach. So this is the best approach that I thought that you can follow, since what happens is this problem is this problem is trying to in this problem what the solution that I have tried to build up, or that I have tried to come up with, deals with the maximum area histogram. And in case if you want any other approach, then you can tell me in the comments, and I would love to discuss that with you. Since this is a problem of the day, so we try to keep the code as simple as possible, and we try because in the interview what happens is, if the interviewer asks you this question, so he will be expecting that you will at least provide him a brute force solution as well as this stack solution, that is consisting that in which what you are doing is, you are for the ith row you are considering it as a histogram if the value of the ith row is 1, right? So is this much part clear to you, Anmol? Like, you can tell me in the comments. Right. So for today we will be discussing this problem using this approach only. So in case if anyone has doubt, up till now, so you can mention that in the comment part. In case if you have any doubt regarding this particular solution using the maximum area histogram, then you can mention that in the comments. Anmol, I do get your point, but the duration of the video will be too long if I will be discussing more approaches. Certainly I can discuss more approaches, I know more approaches, but I want to keep this video simple and standard as possible. So I have discussed only the stack solution here, right? So if anyone has any doubt in this, I am reading out your comments, and if there will be any query, then I will reply it. Right. So since there are no queries, so thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and make sure to solve the problem of the days as much as possible. And one more thing, the problem was asked in companies such as Amazon, DirectEye, Google and Microsoft. So you can see that the companies that are FANG companies are asking it. So you should know the you should always know the stack solution, since it is a standard procedure. That is why I have solved it using stack. If you guys want, then we can come up in the future, we can come up with more approaches if you want. So this was it for this video. Since we did not